I see the ways in which Colombia is extending its reach further and further into the community, and that is both positive and negative. It's certainly positive in terms of ways in which the communities are becoming revitalized and energized with new and great, strong and robust diversity in terms of race and gender and age diversity. But the difficulty lies in when Colombia's reach is so strong that folks that live in this community are unable to continue to take ownership, and not necessarily owning the space, but certainly take ownership of the neighborhood and of the space in which they had, because now Colombia has stretched its arms around this particular neighborhood or this particular community and is taking it. So I think there are both positives and negatives to to the expansion of Colombia into the Harlem communities, and I think that there might be ways in which both communities could work more strongly together to build the kind of community that would embrace both of those groups' needs.
Well, I guess if you could be in charge and create a perfect relationship between Colombia and the neighborhood, how would you make it?
Well, I think one of the things that I would probably first do is to really, I think it's important for Colombia to realize the kind of economic as well as political power that it carries, and to really own the sense that they are much stronger than the community, which is why they're able to go in and kind of buy out buildings and buy out property and land, because of the economic power that Colombia owns. But I also think that our communities as a whole, in the Harlem Morningside area, really have to come together in terms of providing the kind of people strength that is needed to combat those larger powers. I think that in my ideal world, I would want to see Columbia University sitting down at a table and hearing from the residents and long-term residents and even new residents of this area on some of their hopes and dreams for the community, and being able to sit down and together to shape what an agenda might look like, or a prospective community might look like for the residents here. I think being able to know that Harlem has historically been an African American center, and has such such a strong and robust history in terms of Black empowerment. That those are qualities that Columbia ought to be able to embrace in some very large way. And then in the same token, Columbia University as being this large ivy tower in our community, that there ought to be ways in which both communities could mutually benefit from the history, from the ways in which they own power, to be at a place where there's a sense of there is in fact a peaceable kingdom.
And just any last words